Hello, internets. This is Matthew coming to you from London, where work has taken me for a few days. I'm flying home tomorrow, and I had a few minutes to spare. And a few people have been asking me about my travel guitar situation, so I'd like to talk about it now that I have a chance. I have tried every kind of travel guitar imaginable. I have tried guitars that fold at the neck, guitars that are tiny, bringing ukuleles, carrying along full guitars, little acoustic guitars. I've been through the Jamstick fake MIDI guitars. I've had Martin backpackers. And my verdict at the end of the day is there is no best solution. There are a couple of pretty good ones, and I move back and forth between them. So let me go over the one I've taken on this trip with me today. So this is a Traveler guitar from the Traveler company. This is their ultralight model. It's got a very nice sticker back here that says ultralight. I got this on sale a while ago from Massdrop. I guess they had some factory seconds that they were blowing out. I'll go back and I'll, in the comments below, I'll leave the price that I paid for it. I think it's like $200, something like that. So I'll go over it in a little bit of detail, and I'll talk about the rig that I travel with as well. So this is a neat little thing. I don't have a ruler here. If it's not a full scale, it's awfully close. I will put that in there. This is a real electric guitar that just happens to be made small enough that you can travel with it. Probably the most distinctive feature are the fact that the tuners are down here, not up at the top. The strings load in from this end, and it features a one-piece body, which is really neat. So I assume it's wood. There is one piece of wood that makes up the neck and body of the guitar, and there are two other pieces of wood attached with sheet metal screws here, into which the tuners go. And so the way the strings work, they come down. They go over a one-piece bridge / saddle here, and then they wrap around this tail piece here below. I guess it really is a two-piece, typical bridge and set of saddles, right? So kind of like a real Gibson would be. You have your bridge here, and then you have your tailpiece below it. In this case, the tailpiece is linked into the bottom of the guitar. There are these little rollers. There's a metal rod that goes through here, and there are 6 plastic rollers that are threaded onto this rod. They don't really move while the guitar is being played, of course, but then they attach to these tuning machines. These are standard. I don't know who makes them. They're the kind of tuning machines you would see on, a medium-priced generic guitar. Nice touch here, by the way, to silence the strings from resonating there. There's a piece of female Velcro that the strings lie against. There's a really nice nameplate here, also screwed in with tinier sheet metal screws. Strap button. And on this side we have the pickup. It's got 2 blades. I guess it's some kind of mini humbucker. It almost looks like 2 small coils. I bet it is a humbucker that's kind of set into a single coil-sized opening. Adjustable. You can adjust the pickup height with these 2 screws. The bridge is adjustable as well, but the one thing I will note is I have it all the way down. And the action is still maybe just a tad high for my tastes. I don't have any measuring gear here on the road with me in London. This is a pick that's about 1 millimeter. If I measure the action at the 12th fret, I can get that pickup clear in with enough room to move a little bit. If I put 2 picks in, it will be too tall. So it's between 1 millimeter and 2 millimeters tall. Probably a little closer to 2, just a little bit high for my taste. The one fault I have with this guitar is I really wish I could get the action a little bit lower. That being said, it's pretty good. Had I not bought a factory second, would I have one that is more adjustable? Possibly. The neck has about the right amount of relief in it. If I fret it down here and up here, I can just about tap it. There's probably about 1/4 of a mil of neck relief, which is sort of how I like it. The frets are not bad. Occasionally one is bored on the road, so I have filed on these frets. Actually, I will show you a traveler's tip. Hold on. Okay, we're back, and the traveler's tip I promised is this. If you're staying in a nice hotel, you will get a vanity kit of some sort. Staying at the Westbury Hotel in Mayfair in London. Lovely hotel. Thank you, Uncle Sam, for my discount. And inside here I have I've got some makeup removers, a few Q-tips, and more importantly, for guitar purposes, we have a emery board. And thankfully the housekeeping has been nice enough to provide me a new one every day. I use the first one on my nails, I use the second one on the guitar, but I find emery boards are really just about the right level of coarseness to clean up fret ends. So if you have some fret ends that are buzzy, you can feel down the emery board. This side is a little bit smoother, this side is a little bit rougher, and you can just ever so gently kind of redress those curved ends. And you really won't hurt anything with an emery board. So every now and then, if you're bored, can't sleep, find yourself in the hotel in the middle of the night, taking an emery board to the side of your fretboard is not the worst idea in the world. I would say this had a tiny bit of fret sprout when I got it, but I've kind of worked on it enough that they're pretty nice right about now. I didn't really dress or reshape them, just kind of took the very end off. Right now it's actually pretty smooth. The piece up here at top, it's like a little aluminum block. It's kind of very nicely done. It is screwed in to the top, when I say the top of the neck, with these two screws, and the truss rod is exposed. So it has an adjustable truss rod. It comes with a truss rod wrench. I have not had to adjust this one. Really, the only work I've done to this has been to adjust the action, kind of dress up the frets, and you may be wondering about this thing, the little horn. This comes in the case. It's detachable. At first, I thought, why do I need one of these? But if you're playing, if you're playing on your knee, it actually makes a big difference because the guitar has no body. Clipping this in, and it's got a very clever little indent here, and it also uses just the natural shape of this, creates some spring action between these 2 points. It uses that spring action to lock into place. And yeah, that's it. So that makes a difference. Playing like this is a lot better. Okay, so I would say I spend about 90% of my guitar playing time on the road just playing this acoustically. And I probably spend, even at home where I have access to lots of amplifiers and lots of effects, I probably still spend 60-70% of my time there playing acoustically because it's just so easy and it's so much fun. And this feels really nice. It doesn't really need to be amplified to practice, to have a good time. That being said, every now and then you find yourself in a place where you want to kind of rock out a little bit more than playing acoustically. So, I will show you the rig that I use to make that happen on the road. Be right back. So there are 2 ways I can play amplified while I'm on the road. The simplest one I'll go with first. So that involves using this little Vox portable amplifier. It's got a 1/4 inch jack that plugs into the guitar. It's got an 1/8 inch headphone output, and probably like everyone else on the planet, I carry around a set of Bluetooth speakers that also happens to have an aux input. So I just throw into my guitar case a 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch patch cord, and yeah. When I plug in, it goes into aux mode. I turn this on. I don't know if that's ominous or not, but it's not going to sound like that when I plug it in, trust me. But we plug this guy in, And all of a sudden, we have amplification. I just picked this up at random somewhere. It's a Vox Metal Edition. As you may know or infer, I'm not much of a metal guy, but it does the job. You know, you really can't plug straight into any kind of amplifier. Just a guitar pickup going straight into a non-guitar amplifier really misses the preamp that you need to make a reasonable sound. So you need to have something. I have the gain on this turned all the way down, believe it or not. And this is the sound we get, but it's pretty loud, and honestly, it's way louder than you would ever really want or need in a hotel. I picked up this strap the last time I was in London. I really didn't have one. I was wondering why one would need one, but you know, as you stand up and play, you really do need a strap. It's made by the Klondike, Klondyke, no puns. It's a super nice leather strap. They told me it was from some boutique-y British company. I bet it's not, but honestly, at least I bought something on Denmark Street. It's very tempting when in London to visit, if you get a chance, the guitar shops that line Denmark Street in London. Unfortunately, as an American, the prices of everything in that shop are 50 to 100% too high, higher than I would see for the equivalent item on Reverb. And you just can't buy anything, which is frustrating. But you can buy a Klondike strap. All right, so I got my Bose speakers, and here we go. Not bad for travel, and it feels really good. You know, practicing on this, honestly, just as good as practicing on anything else. It's fun to play, it feels great. Now, the only downside to traveling with this guitar is that it does not break or fold or do anything. It is this long. It is the string length. And if you think about it, theoretically, the guitar can't be smaller than the scale length. So whatever it is, 24.5, 25, plus, and they've done a really good job of minimizing the amount of extra length on this end, maybe about 3/4 of an inch, to accommodate the nut and the string holder and the truss rod. And on this side, maybe about 1.5 inches to accommodate the break it needs for the string angle here to run under and go to the tuners. Still, that's 28, 29 inches tall, taller than most pieces of carry-on luggage. So I kind of have a bit of a strategy for getting this on a plane, and it works like this. Like most business travelers, I prefer not to check a bag, and so when I travel, I generally have a rollerboard piece of luggage with my clothing in it and my bag with my briefcase, my laptop, and accessories in it. And then I have a small bag that comes with this guitar, a little gig bag that I repaired here with the sewing kit, incidentally. But depending on who you are, and if you're an aggressive airline stewardess or flight attendant who wants to make my day bad, which apparently many of them do, you would consider this to be a third bag. And I found the hard way that if you, with impunity, put this in your hand, put your small laptop bag on top of your rollerboard, and walk down to the aircraft, they will always count 1, 2, 3. Whether or not you draw attention to yourself or not, they will stop you, and you will have a problem because they will say that you have 3 bags. So what I've taken to doing is just before I enter the sight of the flight attendants, I take the bag that this is in, I open up my larger piece of carry-on luggage, and I put this in and zip it up. So you can imagine what happens is the handle, if you're sitting upright like this, the handle for the rollerboard comes up and down like this, and this is popping out about 12 inches at the front of the bag, and then everything else you see is down in the bag. And this is covered in its own protective case. And I can usually just in between those 2 points slip my laptop bag so that at least for a few seconds as you are walking onto the plane, if someone looks, it is 2 bags. Once I'm on the plane, I have never had a problem. This is tiny, it's lightweight, it's very easy to stick on top of someone's luggage or hold it. If you hold it, don't be tempted to play, because people will think you're very crazy if you start playing on the plane. Ask me how I know. I've traveled all through India and Asia with this, and as long as I do the trick of consolidating the number of bags as much as they don't really consolidate because this sticks out a foot, as long as you go through the motions of doing that, the airline people are fine. You can carry this on, everything is fine. It gets nicked up a little bit, sitting, as it sits there and your other bag is jammed into it, you're putting a whole bunch of pressure on here, and I wouldn't do it to my, 53 Les Paul, but it's a $200 travel guitar. So, so my review is really favorable. If you take a look at the Traveler Guitar website, this is still the smallest line they have. They have a bunch of kind of neat guitars or Strats with the body cut off. I don't really understand them because some of them have a full headstock with the tuners up on the headstock, and I don't really understand how that goes with travel. I guess if you're traveling in a car, that works. In a future video, I will talk about some of the alternative things that I use, most particularly the Martin Backpacker and the Jamstick. And we'll talk about the times where I decide to take those instead of this. I would say this is probably my number one as far as travel guitars go, and I never travel anywhere without a travel guitar. And so anyway, that's it from London. Just a quick video to kind of walk over the Traveler guitar, and thanks. I'll play out, and stay tuned, like and subscribe, as the kids say. And I will follow up with more videos about interesting cars, guitars, watches, electronics, the things that I do when I'm not running a small company. All right, we'll talk to you later. All right,